I'm going to have Shabbos, everyone. As we're getting ready for Shabbos Nachmu, on this Erev Shabbos Nachmu, we're learning Masechtas Beitza, and we are learning the second parak of Masechtas Beitza with Mishna Vav and Zion. Vav and Zion in the second parak, sponsored by Yod Klugman and family for their Gesund, Parnasa Berevach, and Nachas, and by the Fisher family, Linishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shalom ben Abraham Alevi, Perel Bas Ruvain, and Shama Shalav and Leah. Also, Linishmas Rabbi Rachmil Gershom ben Tzvi Yehuda, for Shalem El Yomis ben Chayesara, and L'Schus Avram ben Yom Benish ben Malki Yehudis and family. Also, for the Refuah Shalema of my Shver, Avidir Aryeh ben Rivka, you should have a Refuah Shalema b'Sech Shachel Yisrael. Again, Mishna Vav in the second parak, Shloisha Dvarim, Rabban Gamliel Machmir Kedivrei Beis Shammai. Although Rabban Gamliel was a Talmud of Hillel, however, in three areas he was Machmir like Beis Shammai. Ein toinen esacham yom tov l'Shabbos. This is a very interesting halacha. You can't insulate hot food from Yom Tov to Shabbos, even if you made an Erev Tavshilin. But if you only made an Erev Tavshilin of cooking, you could cook. Of baking, you could bake. He holds that if you didn't make an Erev Tavshilin of insulation, you can't insulate from Yom Tov l'Shabbos, which is a very big chumrah. Ve'ein zeikven es a menorah b'Yom Tov. You can't set together a menorah on Yom Tov because he holds that there's binyan b'kelim. Ve'ein oifen pitin gritzin. You can't bake thick loaves if you don't need that much for Yom Tov. Ela rekikin, only thin wafers. Now, Amar Reb Gamliel, miyameim shel beis Abba, all the days of my father's house, in my father's house, lo yoya oifen pitin gritzin, they wouldn't make thick loaves if they didn't need it for Yom Tov, ela rekikin, wafers. Amar loi, they said to him, Ma nasa leveis avicha, what should we do with your father's house? Sheyeh machmirin al atzman. They were machmir on themselves. However, Mekillah L'Kol Yisrael, they were making for all of Klal Yisrael, like the Shita of Beis Hillel, that you could bake and fill up the oven, because when the oven is full, the loaves in the oven bake better. And therefore, Liyos Oifen Pitin Gritzin, they could make thick loaves, and V'chayri, and big loaves baked on coals, because this fills up the oven, and the bread bakes better for Yom Tov. Now, he wasn't stringent in everything. Rabbi Gamliel said three things on the side of leniency. He allowed them to sleep between the couches that people ate by the table, and they're not worried that if you sweep, you might notice a hole and come to fill it up and be over baina. And they allowed smoking up incense on Yom Tov. Now, this is interesting. Smoking up incense would be permitted because it's a tzarech of Yom Tov. However, those that argue, and we paskin like that, and say you can't smoke up this perfume because it's not a hana shavel l'kol adam. Only the aristocracy did it. And if it's not a hana shavel l'kol adam, it's not allowed. And that's why it's a pella that people smoke on Yom Tov. Because in today's day and age, to say that that's a hana that shavel l'kol adam is a pella. V'oisin gedim bekulas b'leilei psachim, and he used helmeted goats on Pesach night. That means that he made the goats with the entrails on top of them, like the Korban Pesach, which it said Roshei al Krov al Kirbay. We don't do that because it looks like you're eating kachim b'chutz, and therefore the Chachamim answer all three of these things. By the way, I just want to tell you, you shouldn't infer from what I said that I think that you should smoke during the week. Smoking during the week is insane. Insane! You remember they said Crazy Eddie was insane, if you remember all the way back then? Well, it's insane to smoke. We know that it has over 40 carcinogens. We know that it causes heart disease. We know it causes cancer. And it is really foolish to smoke. It's foolish to vape. If you have a moyach b'kod kodai, you should not start for sure. And you should do whatever you can to stop. We want to thank you for joining us. If you want to join us for the Daf Yomi, Motzi Shabbos Nachmu, that's Shabbos Nachmu entertainment at its best. If you want to join us for the Daf Yomi Motzei Shabbos Nachmu, 10:20 at zoomdaf.com when we learn two blot. That's the place to be on Motzei Shabbos Nachmu. If you would like to sponsor a shir, 718-906-6499. No, that's wrong. I just gave you the color Lashon number. 718-916-3100. Call or text 718-916-3100 to sponsor a share. rmmwsi@aol.com. If you'd like to support these shiurim, you enjoy them, you enjoy the effort I put in uploading everything and making sure it's available, you could either send Zelle or PayPal to rmmwsi, that's Rabbi Moshe Berwai, Staten Island, at AOL.com. On YouTube, I put some interesting shiurim. There is also a share looking back at the horrific Pittsburgh massacre. You could look up that. The Great Marriage Workshop, which is on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a wonderful Shabbos Nachmu.